What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about the glorious Guardians Awakening gem. So, in the Banquet Realm event milestone, we have just nope, not that one. This one. We have just hit the Glorious Guardians Awakening Gem. So in this video, I'm going to go over who is the most worthy of this Awakening Gem, as well as who should get your Sig Stones if you choose to invest stones into one of these Guardians, which is definitely a good idea because, the stones only apply to 6 characters. It's only the Guardians. So I was debating breaking this video into like 2 parts, who needs the gem the most and who needs the SIGs, but honestly, just going in order from most reliant on the gem to least reliant on the gem is also sort of indicative of the SIG stone usage as well. So I'm just going to go right off the bat here. I think the character that needs the Awakening Gem the absolute most is Black Panther Civil War. Now, I'm not saying he's the best to invest in. I'm saying if you're looking at like the characters in a vacuum, who needs the Awakening Gem the most? It's Black Panther Civil War. He is a different character with the Awakened ability. He ramps up faster. He's a defender, way better defender with the Awakened ability compared to not. If you're going to awaken any of these in a vacuum and make it significantly matter, it's going to be Black Panther. Now, personally, I don't rank Black Panther as the top character from this pool, but he is the most necessary character to have awakened if you're going to invest in him. And Black Panther is also the character that you need to give the most Sig Stones to. So not only he's the character that needs the Awakening Gem the most, but he's also the character that needs the Sig Stones the most. All the other characters are actually fine unawakened for the most part. Black Panther, he's okay unawakened, but awakened, he's a totally different beast. So he starts the fight with some of his reflective charges already ready to go right off the bat. That's huge because Black Panther is designed for short form fights, right? So short form content, you want to get that damage going, and kill the opponent as fast as you can. Additionally, he gains physical resistance while the reflective matrix is active, and then he gets that heavy attack unstoppable absorption with the awakened ability as well. So Black Panther is on the #1 spot for necessity to awaken and Sig Stone investment. Personally, again, he's not the #1 character from this whole pool. That's not what this video is about. This video is about who needs the gems and the SIGs the most. The #1 character who needs the gems and the SIGs the most is Black Panther. Now, obviously, only rank Black Panther if you like him, but if you like him, he needs the gem and the SIGs the absolute most. #2 on this list for needing the Awaken ability is Sentinel. So Sentinel comes in at #2 because he does need the Awaken ability and he likes Sig Stones. But unlike Black Panther, he doesn't need Sig Stones, he just really likes Sig Stones. You could technically run Sentinel at rank 2 or rank 3 Sig level 1, and you would notice a substantial increase from the get-go. And his scaling of the Sig makes it so you don't even need to go much past Sig level 80 to get most of the benefit. At Sig 200, Sentinel gets 39% increased debuff duration, but at Sig 80, it's 30%, basically 31%. So you don't really need to invest any more than 80 stones into Sentinel, whereas Black Panther, you want to give him as many stones as you possibly can, because ideally you want him at like Sig 160 or above. Sentinel, he cuts that number in half, so there's a huge drop off from here's Black Panther needing the Awakening and the SIGs, and then here is Sentinel. He's still up there pretty high, but he doesn't need nearly as much SIG stone investment as Black Panther does. So I love Sentinel, like you can clearly see here. I have him up at rank 3, and if I did not have him awakened, I would probably awaken him over Black Panther. That's just personal preference, but Sentinel he is the second most necessary character to have awakened. Black Panther and Sentinel are definitely the top 2. There's a considerable drop off once you leave the top 2 sphere with Black Panther and Sentinel, but for the most part, these 2 characters need the awakening the most. Black Panther needs the Sig Stones the most out of the 2. So those are the top two who like need the awakened ability. It makes them very different characters. Moving on to number three, I think number three, a good champion for the awakening is Purgatory. Now, I put Purgatory at number three because she could very well be a Sig 1 and done champion. Her Awakened ability allows her to capture the soul whenever she knocks out the opponent, which is very useful. So you like the Awakened ability quite a bit with Purgatory, but the stones are not really super necessary. Like I said, she's kind of a Sig 1 and done sort of champer, put in 20 stones and leave her at Sig 20. The duration of the class soul abilities, it's really nice to have, but you do not need the Sig Stone investment. Obviously, if Purgatory is one of your favorite characters or you really like this buff, it makes sense to invest Sig Stones into her. But all she really needs is the Awaken ability one time, and then if you want to put in 20 stones, you can, but it is not necessary at all. The most important thing for Purgatory comes from that first line of the Awaken ability. Knocking out the opponent with Demonic Rampage active captures their soul. That is a game changer for Purgatory, but she can still be used unawakened to essentially the same degree, especially in medium to long form content. The awakened ability, it's nice to have, but it's not really necessary, because in content like that where you're using Purgatory to ramp up, by the time you get ramped up you'll have already captured the opponent's soul by placing all the soul neutralizes. So the awakened ability, it's nice, but it really shines in more of the short to short medium form content, or medium form content as I like to say. So Purgatory comes in at number three because yes, she likes the awakened ability and she is worth the gem, but she does not need your Sig Stones. Your Sig Stones are much better off used on Black Panther or Sentinel. So coming in at number four for the Awakening list is Medusa. Now you're going to notice that I used my Awakening gem on Medusa. She is Sig 1 and done. Medusa, unlike Purgatory, I think Medusa is the perfect Sig 1 and done champ. Now, if you really want to invest in a Medusa for defensive purposes, go ahead, put 200 stones into her. She doesn't need them, but of course it's going to benefit her, just like Purgatory. I think the difference with Medusa is she still has that defensive threat, but it's actually more threatening because it's random at low sig. Obviously, if you're using it for like offensive purposes, you want her at high sig, but my personal perspective on Medusa's Awakened ability is 90% of the benefit is coming from this True Strike right here, or the True Accuracy buff, when she gets Armor Shatter or Fervor, and then the defensive threat comes from the first line, obviously that's the auto block, and having her at low sig actually makes it more random. So it's more risky to hit into her at low sig than it is high sig, because high sig is guaranteed auto block. Low sig is not guaranteed auto block. So at least in my perspective, Medusa is the perfect sig one and done champ. So going down the line from what I've already talked about, Black Panther's at the top. You want him awakened and you want him super high sig. Sentinel comes in at number two. You want him awakened and you want him at least sig 80. Purgatory is number three. You want her awakened, but she doesn't really need much more than Sig 20, and even Sig 1 would be fine. And then Medusa, in my opinion, is the perfect Sig 1 and done champion. So those top four are the characters that I say need the Awakening Gem. Those are the characters that, if you get the Awakening Gem and they are unawakened, they are worthy of the gem. Sig Stones, that's up to you. My personal opinion is Black Panther and Sentinel need them the absolute most, with Black Panther being number one because of how his sig scales. But, if you like certain characters, invest in who you like. So that's Medusa. I put her at number four. And now number five is actually going to be Century. So, I will wholeheartedly admit I gave Century a rough time when he first came out. I've grown to appreciate him in long form content, where he's still not maybe my favorite character. I do actually like using him in long form content, and there's been some really impressive stuff that I've seen Nagase doing with his rank 3 Century in Necropolis, so definitely check out his channel for some rank 3 Century gameplay. But Century's Awakened ability, pretty simple, pretty basic. He gets an indestructible passive for 2 seconds when he's struck, which has a cooldown, so that's very nice to have. And then he pauses debuffs when entering a new solar form for a certain amount of seconds, depending on each solar energy over 20. So that's like fine. Doesn't really matter because in Sentry's kit, he has a way to just refresh his debuff, so you don't really need to pause them at all. What he's getting from this Awaken ability is the Indestructible. And I put him at number 5, I put him above Deadpool, because unlike Deadpool, this Indestructible from Sentry, or no, unlike Deadpool, unlike Deadpool's Awaken ability, this Indestructible that Sentry gains from his dupe matters for everything, because an indestructible is good for just about any interaction where you're getting hit because you're not taking any damage. So really the only reason that he is above Deadpool is because Deadpool basically doesn't need to be awakened at all. Whereas Sentry, yeah, he doesn't need the dupe, but if you were to awaken him, you would notice an immediate benefit with that 2-second indestructible, which, by the way, is not tied to the Sig level. That indestructible is 2 seconds from Sig 1. Obviously, the cooldown, as you can see, is tied to the Sig level, but you get that 2-second indestructible. It's full duration from Sig 1. So that's why I put Sentry at number 5 in terms of the awakening category, like the necessity to awaken. He definitely doesn't need it, but if you were to awaken him because you like him, it's definitely worth it. And then number 6, like I already mentioned, is Deadpool X-Force. Now, I do have my Deadpool awakened, and I'm definitely not upset about that because I did take him to rank 3. But Deadpool's awakened ability is basically irrelevant. The only matchup where it matters is Nick Fury, or matchups where the opponent is constantly purifying your taunt debuff. And those matchups are so few and far between where awakening this guy with the gem, I would almost consider like a misuse of the gem. Now, if he's the only one you can awaken with a gem, obviously use the gem. But if you have, Black Panther, Sentinel, Medusa, and Deadpool to awaken, Deadpool should not be in the running for the awakening gem at all. He is an unbelievable character on his own. The awaken ability just lets him take Nick Fury, and even then, you actually need the Sig level at a decent number to take Nick Fury consistently. At Sig 20, my Deadpool cannot cancel out Nick Fury's second life. I think he needs to be in the high 100s for the Sig number to actually matter. So if you didn't know, Deadpool's Sig is actually broken right now. The number that is being displayed right here should actually be 5. So it says bleed debuff passives up to 1, that number should actually be 5, not 1. So reading it as 5, you do 5 times 6 and you get around 6.5, you get around, what, 32%-ish, 32.5% roughly regeneration rate reduction against skill champions. That's not enough for Nick Fury. It needs to be like 80 or 90%. So Deadpool does not need to be awakened, and I highly advise against using the awakening gem on him unless he is the last guardian you have unawakened, and then obviously use the gem. But that is going to do it for this video. Just to go over the order once again for maybe people who skip towards the end. The number one character that needs the gem and needs the Sig Stones is Black Panther Civil War. He is the absolute most in need of those gems. I'm not ranking these characters in terms of who I think is the best. I'm ranking them in terms of who needs the Awakening Gem and who needs the Sig Stones, just to reiterate. So Black Panther, he needs the dupe, and he needs as many Sig Stones as you can give him. So Black Panther is the number 1. Number 2 is Sentinel. Sentinel really needs the Awaken ability to feel like a good attacker. And then Sentinel needs around 80 Sig Stones worth of investment to be at that perfect spot. So Sentinel definitely needs some Sig Stone investment. He comes in at number 2. Number 3 is Purgatory. Purgatory loves the Awaken ability for short and medium form content, and the class soul duration increase is very nice, but Purgatory really doesn't need the Awaken gem above Sig 1, and I recommend bringing her to at least Sig 20 just to get a little bit more benefit from the class soul percentage duration increase. Number 4 is Medusa. In my opinion, Medusa is a perfect Sig 1 and done champ. She gets the true accuracy while Armor Shatter and Fervor are active, as well as the auto block chance on defense. And at Sig 1, the auto block chance is a percentage, so it's not guaranteed, which can actually make her a tougher defender. Now, obviously, if you like the auto block for offense and you like the saving grace it provides, then put its stones into her. But my personal opinion is she does not need more than Sig 1, maybe even Sig 20. So Purgatory and Medusa could easily be swapped out for 3 and 4. Number 5, I put Sentry. The only reason Sentry is above Deadpool is because Sentry gains an indestructible passive from the Awakened ability, which is nice to have if you're using Sentry and you get clipped, and it's useful for every single interaction where you might be getting hit. That's why Sentry is 5, and then Deadpool, like I just talked about, is number 6. So, if you all liked this video, and I hope that you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I just kind of rushed to make this video as I saw people were asking for it in the most recent Deadpool video I made. So, hopefully this is helpful for people as we literally just got the Awakening gem a couple of days ago. This video should be going up on the exact same day as the Deadpool video, just later on in the day. I don't want to crowd the Deadpool video and kind of cannibalize it with this one. So this video will be going up later in the day. So hopefully by that time people have the Awakening gem. Maybe they're indecisive and this video helps them out. So yeah, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. It helps the channel out. And hitting that like button as well. It gets the word out to the YouTube algorithm that I'm making content people are enjoying. So thank you all very much once again, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.